In the 21st century, a weapon will be invented like no other.
Better, stronger, faster.
Unstoppable. He has only one purpose. Win fights.
Hello all, welcome back to the channel. We have been very busy here on the channel recently, as you guys know. If you're a subscriber, if you're not, please do subscribe. But on this channel, usually we're doing collabs, we are doing vlogs, we're doing training footage, we're doing all kinds. But today we're doing something a little bit different. We are going to discuss how to become a better MMA fighter / MMA athlete. Someone you guys asked for a lot in the comments is the great, the legend, the father of mine, Andy Aspinall, who sat down for some reason. But I am almost 32 years old. I've been training with my dad now since I was about 7 or 8. So my dad definitely knows what it is to be a good fighter, or what it is to make a good fighter, I should say. So, Dad, 3 most important things to become a good fighter, in your opinion.
Tom wasn't always a good fighter, obviously, and everybody's not always going to be a good fighter. And good fighters, are they born or are they made? I don't know the answer to that, but from Tom's point of view, probably the first thing I'd say is consistency. You've got to always be in the gym. And I don't know how many hours that'll take for everybody, and there's 10,000 hours bandied around a lot for a lot of different reasons, but you've got to be practicing properly. It's no good going to a gym for 10 years and just fighting every day and coming away. You know, in 1 year you can get very, very tough, but it doesn't mean that you're good. Some people just fight the way they fight and they'll not get better, and then they'll end up retiring and not reaching the full potential. So for me, I'm old and a lot of injuries. I can still grapple okay because my techniques are very, very good. So I think consistency, getting in the gym a lot is good. Perfect practice makes perfect. You know, practice makes perfect is the saying. I don't know who said perfect, but it's Bruce Lee maybe, I think it was. But you've got to practice properly. It's pointless practicing hard because you'll get injured and you'll have time off. It's pointless practicing with bad people. You need to practice your techniques on somebody better than you, the same as you, and worse than you. And you need to do it in equal measures, I think. The other people that train here help Tom, and some of them come specifically to help Tom, and some come to be better in the arts that they're not good at. They're all professionals who come. Some of them are very elite and at the top of the game. And I think another thing that's good is getting every technique perfect. You know, you've got to sometimes do the things you don't like doing. Tom does, you've not seen it in a lot of Tom's fights, but Tom's very, very good at being very uncomfortable in fights because I make him do that because he doesn't like it. And after you've done it a while and get used to it, you get to like it and you get to be better at it, and then you can move on and do something else. A lot of people will only constantly do what they've always done. And I don't think there's any way of getting better if your mindset can't expand to what your coach is trying to tell you to do. And you've got to be happy with it, or you're never going to get any better. And that's probably 3 things that, you know, you've got to be consistently in the gym, you've got to practice good, and you've got to have a good relationship with your training partners and your coach. My dad used to say to me and my kids and grandkids, every day I'm getting better and better. And I think for me, that's a mantra that I've taken to coaching, for Tom especially, that if you don't get better, what's the point of doing it? If you're not enjoying it in the gym, what's the point of doing it? If you're not coming in every day and having a nice time with people that you like, what's the point of doing it?
Right, there's some words of wisdom from my dad. Now, guys, wherever you are in the world, if you don't have a boxing bag, here is how to practice shadow boxing. In my opinion, the right way to do it if you're a beginner, or even if you're not a beginner, this is the way that you should be working on shadow boxing, in my opinion. Well, if you can, you want to find a mirror. Get it in the mirror, because I do so much work in the mirror, because obviously if your hand's like low or whatever, or you're not bringing it back straight, or you know, you're doing this kind of thing or whatever, you can always pick that up with yourself in the mirror. So slowly is the best way to do anything first, and then speed it up from there. Depends which kind of shadow boxing you're doing. I think shadow boxing should be done predominantly to improve technique. That's what you should be looking to do. Not so much as a workout, but you can do it as a workout as well. If you want to do it as a workout, just increase the intensity. Like, that's all you need to do. Stick 3-minute rounds on, do 10 3-minute rounds of shadow boxing. But I think predominantly shadow boxing should be used to improve your technique. That's what it's for. And all the time you want to be doing it is you want to be, if you're throwing a jab, you need to be, a lot of it's like mental training as well. So it's not just going through the motions of jab, right hand, left hook and stuff like that. It should always be figuring out, like imagining that your opponent's in front of you and your techniques that you're going to use to bait him into that jab and right hand and stuff like that. So it should be just as much mental training, shadow boxing, as physical training.
Anything on feet?
Yeah, so I think the main thing is something that I got told a long time ago. When you're doing any kind of striking, if your hands are not moving, your feet should be moving. If your feet are not moving, your hands should be moving. Like, if you're not punching, you should be moving. So with the footwork stuff, obviously the hands up, chin down, very important. Look through the eyebrows if you can. You never want to do it to the point where your shoulders are stiff though. You don't want to be doing this kind of thing. This should always be relaxed. So especially with MMA gloves, the MMA gloves, this kind of high guard stuff doesn't offer much protection. Like, the gloves can still sneak through. So the hands, especially with the grappling aspect and stuff, if we're talking MMA, should be, in my opinion, a little bit lower than, for example, Thai boxing, where the hands should be up here. So, like, just chin level's fine. Just moving backwards and forwards with the footwork. So all this is nice and comfortable. Look, this should just be, so if you're going forward, the front foot should be first. Boom. Boom. Then if you're going backwards, back foot should be first. And then same again, if you're going to the right foot goes first, left foot goes first. And then just basic stuff is putting little shots in between. So you can go step and punch, step and punch, step and punch. Same when you're going backwards, step and punch. But this is a great thing about shadow boxing, especially in a mirror, is you can see what you're doing wrong all the time. So as you step in, you can see your hand position. So keep your hand position the same. Boom. And when you're going backwards, boom. Sideways is the same. Hooks, going back this way, straights, back this way. But like I said, any of this kind of stuff, even just moving around, if your feet aren't moving, your hands should be moving. So if you're here, this kind of thing should be happening. And if not, this kind of thing should be happening. And then that's when you need to mix it in between the two. Punching, moving, and then that's when the head movements start coming in and stuff like that. So it's all should be done in the mirror. If you don't have a mirror, record yourself doing it. Watch it back. Same with the feints. So feints are like, I really work on my feints a lot. That is done 100% of the time. Maybe not 100%, 90% of the time in the mirror. Like, if you can convince yourself in the mirror with a fake or a feint or whatever you're doing, you can convince somebody else. Do you know what I mean? So many people who don't practice that kind of stuff, they just generically hit the pads or the bag and they're whacking it as hard as they can. But you need to get the stuff in between. So same again with the feet, not just a step, but a step, look, step, and with the hand feint as well. There. So you move, hand feint, move back this way, give them a feint, and then give them a 1-2 with a step. Then back, feint, back, 1-2, do you know what I mean? So it's always get in the mirror, record yourself, shift your weight around a little bit, and go from there. Hi everyone, sorry to interrupt. If you like this kind of stuff, head over to my school community where you'll find more stuff like this. Fight breakdowns, me talking through my performances, tips on how to become a better fighter and stuff like that. That's all over there for free on the free school community. Head over there now, but for now, let's get back to the video. Right, so the shadow boxing stuff is if you've got absolutely no kit at all, you're just starting out, you've got nothing. But if you've got access to a bag, most gyms have got a bag these days if you've not got a bag at home. These are some drills that you can do on the bag that work. Conditioning, and also you get to practice the real life punches that you'll do on the bag. So here we go. So all I'm doing here is basically, I'm choosing one combination. Doesn't really matter what the combination is. I try to do it more of a realistic combination, something that I would do in a fight. And I am throwing the combination as technically perfect as I can and as hard and fast as I can for 1 minute. So it's just all out for a minute, as hard as I can. And then I have a minute off. So that would be 1 round. A minute on, a minute off would be 1 round. And I do that for 14 rounds. By the end of the 14 rounds, you should be absolutely exhausted. Like, you are going 100%. In that 1 minute, it's not only should be technically perfect, physically, it should be like a sprint. You should be absolutely exhausted, gassed, nothing left in the tank when you got your 1 minute to recover. This is working on your lung capacity. It's really good reps as well. Like, if you're doing the technique properly, which you should be, it's really good for your muscle memory to just keep going over and over and over and getting those reps in. So choose 2 or 3 punches, maybe 4 punches for a combination. Just rep them out as fast and hard as you can for a minute, have a minute off, and then repeat that. You can do, infinite amount of rounds. I would probably start doing it at between 5 and 10 rounds as a beginner and build it up. As your fitness builds, build that up and go from there.
What if someone's like at the start and, they might not be able to do 14 rounds?
Yeah, if someone's at the start, try and get 5 rounds out. Trust me, if you're going hard, like if you're going 100% on your 1 minute on, you should be exhausted after that 1 minute. Do you know what I mean? But this is a conditioning exercise as well. So you should be exhausted after the minute. It doesn't matter how fit you are or how unfit you are. At the end of that 1 minute, you should be absolutely exhausted. So if you're unfit and you've not got that conditioning, start with 5 rounds. Your next time you do it a week after or the same week or whatever, do 6. The next one, do 7. Try and build it up. I do 14. I think 14 is a good number without being ridiculously exhausted. It's something that I do often at the end of a session just to blow my lungs out a little bit. So yeah, that's something that I do quite regular. I probably do that once a week.
If it's for a beginner who's seen a boxing bag for the first time,
yeah.
What's obviously you're doing conditioning, but you're also making sure that technique, you said about technique.
Well, if you're starting off, if you've never hit the bag before, for example, just make sure your technique is right before you start doing this kind of workout. But saying that, this workout can be done for anybody, do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be advanced to do this. Anybody can do this. So make sure your technique's right, make sure you're throwing the punches right, make sure you're connecting right on the bag. You're not going to injure yourself or anybody else. But once you feel comfortable with the technique and throwing it slowly and lightly, and once you get used to the impact, you can go straight into this. You can go straight into it, get your 5 rounds done, get your 10 rounds done, and just throw yourself into that. And when you're doing this kind of thing, especially for beginners, make sure that your wrists and your hands are clenched tight and strong. And when you're hitting, you need to make sure you're twisting in. It's not just arms, you know what I mean? It should be whole body, 100% movements of twists to get that full power in, with everything strong. Like I said, you don't want to be going on there, especially if you're not used to the impact, injuring yourself. Make sure the fundamentals are right. You're getting the twists, you're getting the stiff hands and the stiff wrists. You don't want to be hitting it with a bad connection or anything like that. Make sure everything's strong as you start throwing at 100%. Right, something a bit different this week. We don't often do this kind of stuff on the channel. Let us know in the comments if you like this kind of thing. We try and be as consistent as possible, obviously, depending on my schedule. We try and put a video out every week, so let us know if you like this kind of thing. Next week we'll be back, something completely different, maybe a collab, maybe something else. We'll see. But make sure you like and subscribe. Tell your friends, share, comment, all that stuff. But make sure you let us know, please. We're constantly checking the feedback on what you like in the comment section. Soon, hopefully, fight news will be coming your way. We are working on that. But until then, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.